Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Stoklasa. I'm the founder of RedLetterMedia, which is a movie review site dedicated to all things geek and pop culture.
And I'm Jay Bauman. I co-host an exclusive online movie review series called Half in the Bag. I also appear on the exclusive online series Best of the Worst, as well as other online exclusive content at redlettermedia.com as well.
And I am Rich Evans, and I'm a giant pile of horseshit.
Well, everyone, now that we've gotten our fake professional introductions out of the way, let's get down to business. Why we are all here gathered today to talk about a movie, and that movie is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story.
Yes, we should note, full disclosure, that we were invited to an official early screening of Rogue One by an official at Disney, but we were unable to attend due to Rich Evans' crippling diabetes.
Jay, I was under the impression it was his crippling depression.
Actually, it was both.
Well, Jay, why don't you tell everybody how the email went down with the PR person from Disney?
Well, the PR person from Disney emailed us and said they've been following our website for a little while now and noticed that we have a rather large following in the geek culture community, as he put it, and also that we seem to have a love of basically every movie that comes out with almost a blind automaton-like fanboy mentality.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We love movies. They're just supposed to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're just for fun.
Movies are just supposed to be fun. And really, that's what Rogue One is. Well, no, it's not.
So he said he'd get us into an early screening of the movie as long as we gave it an overwhelmingly positive review. And I mean, how can you argue with that?
It's true. It's true. And I love getting into movies early. So, you know, if they want a positive review, that's what they'll get.
It really makes you feel better than everybody else once you get in to see a film early.
Yes.
That's right. More important, more professional.
Well, especially when it's a movie that's as good as Rogue One.
Yeah. Well, let's get down to brass tacks here, people. Let's talk about Rogue One, A Star Wars Story.
Well, me personally, I loved this film. It's up there as far as being one of the best Star Wars movies ever made, possibly rivaling Empire, but at the very least equal to it. Rich?
Well, me personally, I love the film. There's all the cool action, lots of great Star Wars tech, and of course, most importantly, all of the action. I think this is a very important film, possibly the most important Star Wars film, and this is a film that won't be forgotten for the next 50, maybe even 100,000 years.
Well, guys, no surprise here. Me personally, I also loved this film. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say better than Empire as far as what is maybe one of the best Star Wars films ever made. I don't want to say it's one of the best films ever made. I mean, it's certainly up there, but definitely one of the best Star Wars films ever made. Certainly darker than Empire, and I think that's what we needed now. I think, you know, in this age of Donald Trump and terrorism, what people want is a dark Star Wars film.
I now also think this is a better Star Wars film than Empire. Yeah.
Well, it's a better film than Empire because it's darker.
Exactly,
and,
yeah.
And because this film is darker, that means it's more important.
Can I just get one thing clear from you guys? Just so our audience knows too. When you're saying darker, are you guys talking about like the brightness of the picture? Because I thought it was fine. I mean, I could see all the explosions and all the cool Star Wars tech and the X-Wings. So am I following you guys on the darker?
Well, I don't want to speak for Rich. I think he was talking about the tone of the film. Rich, were you talking about the tone?
No, it was very hard to see.
I mean, the visuals and the vistas were just breathtaking to me. And I think that's what makes it, to me, a 9 out of 10. Was really the visuals. And did I say the vistas? Very, 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 very nice vistas.
I think you're forgetting about all the cool action scenes, though, because
Well,
in
of
addition to
course,
the vistas,
yeah.
you also have a lot like when the Kung Fu Man, the blind man, he beat up all of the stormtroopers. That was a very deep moment in the film.
Well, it's important to point out that vistas can only take you so far. If you don't have a lot of action and explosions and giant space vehicles in those vistas, then you're left with nothing, really.
Well, mainly it's space vehicles that we know and love.
Oh, absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
not any space vehicle will do. It's ones that we've seen before, and really, that's an important key element to this film and potentially future Star Wars standalone films. And I think this is just it's just a beacon. It's just a beacon of light, like a ray of hope. No pun intended.
Oh, I see.
A ray
I see what you did there.
from
Yeah.
Force Awakens. Also, well, I liked it when it came out. Now it sucks. But yeah, Rogue One. The amount of things you can do with stormtroopers and TIE fighters and X-Wings and AT-AT walkers and lightsabers is just, I mean, it's endless.
Well, I think this movie establishes something very important that I really hope they stick with when they do future standalone stories, which is make sure it takes place right around the era of the original trilogy. That way we will continue to get the same thing over and over. The TIE fighters, the X-Wings, the Skywalker family, all those things. As long as we stay close to the timeline of the original trilogy, I don't see this ending anytime soon.
Well, they stay close to the original timeline, but they still keep adding to the mythos because we have that new vehicle now. We now have the AT-ACT Walker.
Yes, which is a totally different type of vehicle than the AT-ATs. I'm really glad they added that element. It adds a lot more layers to the Star Wars mythos.
Well, there's been a lot of well, first of all, let me say, me personally, I love this film. I think I've said that already, right?
Yeah, well, it bears repeating because me personally, I also really loved this film. Rich?
All of that great action, of course, I love this.
Okay.
I think it's fairly unanimous that the three of us loved this film. But there's some detractors out there who might not have loved this film as much as we have, and some of them say like, well, the characters weren't any fun, like that you're supposed to want that, like you didn't connect, like kind of like jargon, like terms.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if these people have ever seen a war film before, because at no point in any war film do we care about any of the people.
It's not meant to be enjoyed per se as a conventional film.
Well, I think you're overlooking the fact that the grittiness of this movie that validates me as an adult who likes a children's fantasy series. I can watch Star Wars now, and I don't have to feel bad. I don't have to feel like a
shameful,
man-child.
ashamed, deeply ashamed
of myself.
But there was a lot of talk about reshooting almost 78% of the film. Some reports were up to 96% of the film was reshot. And I think those numbers are a little over exaggerated. I'm going to go with maybe 1% reshoots.
5?
Yeah, 5.
5's a safe number.
Yeah.
Well, me personally, and I loved this film, by the way. Me personally, I loved it. And if this is the result of reshoots, then I think every movie should be tinkered with by the studio because it totally enhanced the theater-going experience. I mean, supposedly one of the Disney's big additions was adding Darth Vader into the film more, and I think that was a brilliant addition to the film.
That's right. I think Disney knows what the fans want. And the fans want Darth Vader hacking people to death with a lightsaber. And, it's like it's what we always wanted, and they're giving us what we've always wanted. The line in A New Hope when Princess Leia says, "You're still holding Vader's leash, right?" Grand Moff Tarkin, and now Vader was on a leash, but now he is unleashed. And I think that speaks volumes to what Disney is attempting to do with the Star Wars universe, is transform it into something that, it was a little hokey in the 70s and 80s. It had a sense of adventure and wonderment and excitement, and it sparked kids' imaginations. But really, I think what they're learning now is that what the fans want is Darth Vader to hack people to death with a lightsaber.
Well, I do think it's time, and me personally, I loved Rogue One. I loved this film, me personally.
Me too. I love this film.
Okay, Rich, did you love this film as well?
Oh, me personally, I love this film, but I don't want to look like I loved it too much, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's a far better film than The Force Awakens, which I gave a 9 out of 10.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I loved this film as well. I do think it has some flaws, which we haven't really gone into because they're just not worth bringing up. But the action and the tone and the vistas clearly outweigh the negatives, and so I'm going to give it a 11 out of 10.
And yes, it's you mentioned flaws. And yeah, people will find flaws. You can find flaws in anything.
You can nitpick any movie if you really look into it.
Yes. But people are looking for flaws. And Rogue One, it wears its flaws on its sleeve. You know, it's like it's proud of them. It's a war film. That's one thing that people don't understand. It's meant to be a war film. It's meant to accurately document what war is. And you know, they say they added Darth Vader as a villain. They have Director Krennic as a villain. Grand Moff Tarkin is in there, and they say, well, it's muddled with too many villains. Well, you know what? I have an answer for everyone out there who said that, is that life has too many villains. Okay, and that might seem a little profound because it is.
Absolutely. And I will say, it's a shame that people feel the need to nitpick so much. Lack of story, lack of likable characters, lack of a satisfying conclusion. These are all nitpicks. These are all just minor elements of a film. And we really need to focus more on the positive of a film, which is vistas and action.
Yeah. What the big mistake that people are making when they're talking about Rogue One is that they think it's a movie.
Right. Yeah. That's a very important thing to bring up.
It's not a movie. It's part of a cultural phenomenon.
It's an experience.
It's a saga. It's a piece to a large puzzle. It's not a movie.
Right.
It's not something that you go and you watch beginning, middle, and end, and you're supposed to enjoy it. You're not supposed to enjoy this. They want us to feel the pain that these rebels felt when trying to get the plans to stop a giant space ball that shoots lasers. It makes you think. It makes me think, is that guy going to be okay after getting that red lightsaber shoved through his body? Is he going to be okay? Is his family going to be okay? These are real people.
Right.
This is a real story of real sacrifice. I mean, people say, you know, to the military, like, thank you for your service and all that bullshit. That is crap.
I never understood why anyone would care about any of that shit until I saw Rogue One, and now I have a greater appreciation for the sacrifices of fictional characters in science fiction films. Well, that's all the time we have for the show today. We would like to thank our sponsor, Geek Crate. Go to geekcrate.com/RedLetterMedia to get 10% off your first purchase. And Geek Crate, Mike, why don't you explain what that is for people?
Geek Crate, as Jay said, it's a wonderful company. It's a great sponsor. And what it is that for, you know, a small fee, $69.99 a month, Geek Crate will send you a crate. It's an actual crate, and it's filled with cheap dollar store toys with your favorite logos on them. You know, Star Wars, Marvel, DC Comics, any of the geek culture, pop culture items that you crave.
Now, the thing is, the items themselves cost way less than what you pay for the service, but it really is about the experience. Every month you get this box. You feel like you're receiving a gift from nerd culture as a whole.
That's what geek culture is. It's a sense of community. And really, we're all part of the same geek community, as they say, because we're all bonded. We have a connection. And that connection is nerd culture or geek culture, as they say. You know, we all like the same things.
Well, I personally love Geek Crate because every month I get a box, and whatever's in there might fill the empty void in my soul.
That's a good point to bring up, Rich. That's a good point to bring up.
Well, yeah, that's right, Rich. And I'd like to take this time to thank our other sponsor, Nerdbox.